Welcome to the Lady Nighthawk Show, where we talk about interesting topics. And tonight we have some interesting topics for you as well. And so I'm going to have my co-hosts introduce themselves, okay? And we're going to start with Reverend Levin.
Good afternoon, Paula. Thank you for having me back on your show. My name is Ross Levin. I'm the Executive Director of
Call him Levin.
Roots of Mankind. We are a local nonprofit here in Prince George's County. We assist home buyers doing first-time home buyer education. We also assist people at risk of losing their home by ways of foreclosure prevention. We also do financial empowerment, and we also have programs starting with generational wealth as well.
All right, then. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And my next co-host.
Good evening, Paula, and thank you for inviting me back to your show.
Oh, this is our show. Okay, y'all been on here so long. This is our show. It's not my show. It's our show.
My name is Donald Bell. I'm an attorney here in Maryland, specifically here in Prince George's County, so I'm local. And areas that I primarily practice, consumer bankruptcy, foreclosure defense. So again, I'm very happy to be back here sharing the stage with you. And I'm happy to be back here talking to your TV audience.
Yeah, that's what they like. They like for you guys to come so y'all can give them updates and tell them about what's going on in the world. So I'm glad that you're here. And you had said that there were some topics that you wanted to discuss this evening. So.
I did, Paula. Thank you. Yes, what I wanted to discuss today is Maryland tax sales, specifically that has to do with property taxes. Today as May 23rd, and the Maryland tax sales in Prince George's County happened on I believe May 13th. And so what property tax is, when a property goes to tax sale, what happens is a homeowner has the right to redeem the taxes only for a certain period of time, only for 6 months. However, people that own property in Maryland, what they're required to do is they're required to pay their taxes, property taxes. The property taxes, of course, are taxes that are used to fund different things through the county as well as through the state. And the property taxes, once they become delinquent, the property tax because taxes are past due, they can actually be foreclosed upon the property, and the homeowner can lose the property.
This is a huge problem, particularly for seniors whose properties are already paid off, and for other individuals like who may own their properties outright. Because in many situations, in most situations, your property taxes as well as your insurance is paid by your mortgage company. However, if your house is paid off, there is no mortgage payment for you to make, and you're responsible for paying your own property taxes.
Yeah, because I'm going to say, because most people that buy houses, they have the insurance and their property taxes included in their mortgage, so that they don't have to worry about that. But like you said, once you pay your house off, if you don't sell it, then you still have to pay the property tax. Now, what I don't understand is, and I don't know whether this happens or not, so I'm just going to, it may be true, it may not be true.
Well, somebody out in the audience TV audience may have the same question, so
right.
Go ahead.
The property tax bill, it comes to you even if it is included in Maryland, in PG County. It comes to you regardless of whether or not your taxes are being paid within your mortgage or not.
Yes.
That way you have a heads up on whether or not your mortgage is going to go up or down, if they're going to increase it. So a tax bill has been always sent, but knowing that it's inside my mortgage, I don't pay attention to it. I just put it aside. All of them in the same place. Well, I guess that for a senior citizen person, that once they stop working and once their house is paid off, if they've been paying on it for a long period of time, then they really associate the mortgage bill and not associate the tax bill. My question is, why wouldn't the mortgage company notify them and tell them that your house is being paid? I'm asking a question. Is it inclusive once the house is sold off? Do they have some kind of notation or something like this? Now you need to be responsible for paying your own property tax because now your house is paid off. You got to pay your own insurance on your house, and you got to pay your own property taxes. Those are the two things that I would think that once a mortgage company has acquired their money, that they would now let the mortgage person with the lien on their houses know, now this becomes your responsibility. So please pay attention.
Well, the property taxes are always your individual responsibility. Now, you may contract with the mortgage company to pay it, but if for some reason the mortgage company doesn't pay it, you're still responsible for those taxes.
And that's,
So that's number one.
okay.
And number two, generally when people pay off their mortgages, they will get like a letter from the mortgage company saying, congratulations, you paid off your loan. And many times those letters will tell them like, hey, you paid off the loan. We are no longer obligated to pay
Okay.
your property taxes and pay your insurance. So, I mean,
That
and
was
people
my
have,
question.
a lot of times from my understanding, I've never had this experience, but I hear that people have like parties where they burn the notes,
Oh,
you
the
know,
mortgage
to
notes.
celebrate that they paid off the mortgage. Now, I haven't had that
Me either.
experience.
I haven't
So maybe one day God will bless me to have that
either.
experience.
Me too.
But you know, I think Mr. Levin and you are. I mean, what we want to make certain that we notify people of, like the seniors, or people who have paid off their mortgages. You know that there are, you know, and I think that's what he wants to talk about.
Yeah, that's-
there's some help out there in case you have issues
Right.
with paying your property taxes. So
Right.
I'm going to yield back to.
Yeah.
And I
So-
want to say thank you because you answered my question.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's important for your audience to know, Paula, that the property taxes, like you had said, you do get the property tax bill, the homeowner does. It's important for the homeowner to review the property tax bill. And the reason why it's important is to make sure that the homeowner is getting the proper credits on the property tax bill. Say, for example, we're in Prince George's County. Prince George's County just went ahead and had, I believe it was 2 years ago, it was called a senior tax credit for elderly. And that's one credit that someone can get depending upon their age. There's also two other credits in Maryland where a homeowner can get it. One, a property tax credit, thereby reducing their property taxes either on an annual basis or if they pay it semi-annually. On a semi-annual basis, the two types of credits are the homeowner's tax credit. A homeowner's tax credit is actually a credit based upon income. So if someone doesn't make a certain amount of income, then they're able to apply for this credit, and they can apply for it. It has to be applied for yearly, the homeowner's tax credit, and that tax credit that they're getting can lower their property tax bill annually. There's also another credit which is called a homestead tax credit. And what the homestead tax credit does is that the homeowner then would apply for it, and that would insulate the property tax bill so that when the property assessment happens, and assessments happen in Maryland every 3 years, so that if the property tax bill goes up, the assessment more than 10%, that will give the homeowner an additional tax credit, so that will reduce their annual taxes. In addition to, if you have if you're a homeowner, one of your viewers, I'm sure, may or may not be a disabled veteran, but veterans don't have to pay any property taxes. Disabled veterans. Thank you, Mr. Bell.
100%? Is it 100%?
100% disabled. And thank you for correcting me, Mr. Bell. If you're a 100% disabled veteran, you don't have to pay property taxes, and there are certain forms that need to be filed with the county, and we can help you with that if you haven't already done so, with those three credits that I just had mentioned. But as far as the property tax sale, if someone doesn't pay the property taxes for a period of time, then the property does, unfortunately, they can foreclose, and when they foreclose, the tax sale purchaser forecloses on it, then all of the liens would be wiped out, meaning your first mortgage, any homeowners association dues, things like that. But it's important to know that your viewers should know there's actually a property tax advocate. They just opened up that division through Maryland, I believe it's Maryland Department of Housing. And they just opened up a program where if a homeowner is delinquent, and of course there's all sorts of requirements, I'm sure there are income requirements and things like that, there's a property tax advocate that can go ahead and I believe they can advance money to pay the property taxes to keep the property property out of tax sale. That's actually something new.
Is this a state official?
This is a state program, it's through the state. So it's whether you live here in Prince George's County or you live in Montgomery or Allegheny County, wherever you live, the program was designed, actually it came, I believe, right after the Homeowner Assistance Fund through Biden's American Rescue Plan. But this is a state of Maryland program.
Now, homestead, you only have to apply for one time. But I'm going to say this to you, that if you get approved for a homestead credit, it's your responsibility to make sure that you let your mortgage company. Don't sit back and think that they automatically are sending it to the mortgage company, because they do not, okay? It's your responsibility, again, that if you get a letter saying that you are approved for homestead, then you need to make sure that you send your mortgage company a copy of the letter. Now, a lot of mortgage companies will get that letter, but some of them don't. You know, they're waiting on you to let them know that you're aware that you've been approved for a homestead tax sale. I've seen that happen to people.
Well, that's actually a good point you bring up, Paula, is that your viewers that have mortgages, the mortgage company is required to do what's called an annual audit of the escrow, of their escrow account. So what that means is that means that if your property taxes have gone up or your property taxes have gone down by ways of credits you may be getting where you weren't getting before, say, for example, the homestead tax credit, or your homeowner's insurance may go up or may go down, that's important for your viewers to know, that to request an annual escrow audit of the mortgage, and your mortgage companies are required to do that. I can't tell you some do, some don't, but I know that they're required to do that, and it's important because that affects what people pay monthly on a monthly mortgage.
And I'm going to say there again, some of them do not, okay? Mr. Bell had to, for me, you know, when our show was talking like this, you know, and we were talking about escrow, he asked me after the show, have you had an escrow analysis done? I said, I haven't seen one come through. So he said, oh, come past and see me. In that particular year, he sent them a letter asking them to send a copy of the escrow taxes that have been paid, and they sent it to. They got right on. They thank you so much for that. That was, you know, you looking like, did I do that? Yeah, you did. It was. You've been coming on this show for so long. We've been talking about these different topics to keep people abreast. You don't remember, but yes, you did do that. Now, probably need to have it done again. Okay, because it's been that long.
Well, they should be doing it every year.
They should do
so
it.
You should get an escrow analysis every year. So there are certain laws, federal laws, that says the mortgage company is required to do that. And they can't just arbitrarily increase your mortgage payments or decrease it or anything like that. They're supposed to provide you with an escrow analysis. It's provide you with notice of when your mortgage payment is going to change.
Now, they're going to notice you. They're going to send you a notice to make sure if you know your mortgage is going to go up. Okay, and they're going to let you know if it's going down for any reason. But I don't know if all mortgage companies, you know, we all should just do classes for people for free.
Yeah, but the most important reason why,
you know,
one of the more important reasons why is because a lot, and this is why you got to pay close attention, a lot of the servicing companies, the fees, they get to keep the fees. So if you are late on your mortgage payments, or if you don't pay the correct amount, and there's a fee then that service company gets to keep that fee. So that's the reason why you want to pay close attention to the mortgage statements and pay close attention to the escrow analysis. And then you want to pay close attention to that bill that you're getting from the state or from the county, because you want to make certain that all those things marry
Match
up.
up.
Because if you're paying more than what you're supposed to pay on your escrow, then that servicing company may get to keep that. And it may only be a couple of dollars from you, but a couple of dollars from you, a couple of dollars from me, a couple of dollars from Mr. Levin here. You know, when you start multiplying that over hundreds of thousands of people here in the county, you know, that's millions and millions of dollars. So
Yeah, because mine gave me $45 back.
Yeah.
Didn't sound like a lot, but like you said, I mean, you got $45 from you, $45 and $45, but they actually gave me $45 back. You know, once I let them know that I had a homestead.
Right, exactly.
So at the end of the
Exactly.
year, they gave me the $45 for escrow.
Right.
Okay, that paid too much. But if I had not let them know,
they will keep that money.
they would have kept the money.
would've kept the money,
and I
right.
still would not have gotten the credit that I was supposed to get.
But just
Right.
think about how many hundreds of thousands or how many millions of loans that mortgage company may have. And $45, when you start multiplying it over hundreds of thousands, over millions of loans, that's a lot of money.
It's a lot of money,
It is a
and that's
lot
why
of
I'm saying that. And to pay attention, you know, for that reason. And if we had not talked about this some time ago, and that's why I'm glad it comes up every year periodically, so we're able to remind our people that watch our shows that, oh, dang, that's something I didn't do. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And that homestead form is very simple. So, I mean, you really can just ask them this. If you have not applied for homestead tax credit, then you need to call in your county where you live and ask them to send you the forms out,
The
because they're
homestead,
really
right.
on that for the homestead tax credit and sending it out to you. And if you don't understand, then one of these gentlemen you can
Absolutely,
call and
we
let
can
them know.
certainly help
them
your
out with
viewers. We'd be happy to do that.
Yeah.
One other thing, as long as we're talking about escrow statements, is that it's important for your viewers to know that they have a right to shop for homeowners insurance. Because just because you're with a homeowners insurance company, whatever it is, you may be able to get a lower rate somewhere else.
And I'm glad you said that, because it's been on my mind that I've been with this particular company forever, right? So now they're going up maybe about $20, but $20 is a lot as you go along, you know, on my bundle, you know, for my
exactly.
home,
I
right?
understand what you're saying.
And so they're going up on that, whereas I've had them forever. I need to take the time and do that to see whether or not somebody, and I'm glad you're just bringing that up, because it was on my mind, because it's going to go up next month. So should I shop and see whether or not there is another insurance company out there? Because I have a guy that comes in here that's an insurance agent.
I was about to say you should call.
I should call him and ask him, right?
You should definitely call him.
He's an insurance agent. I think that maybe I need to call him before, you know, the bill is due
Right.
again.
Because just because you call them and check don't necessarily mean you got to change.
Oh, no, yeah.
So if it's higher, if the new company is higher, then you
Then stay where I am.
Stay where you're at.
Right.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. You need to check. And like the young man that comes in here, Dave, okay, he watches the show as well. He works for insurance company, a well-known insurance company, and I guess I'd already been working with these people for forever. You know, old people, you don't feel like going through the process of
It's just
changing
not old
stuff
people,
over,
it's old
but you
people, and
know,
you're comfortable.
you know, that's right. And so, but they're going up on everything. And I do want to mention one other person that's gone up on me. I've been with them forever, T-Mobile. Oh, shouldn't have mentioned their name. But it's okay. I don't have stock in them, okay? And it's not nothing derogatory that I'm getting ready to say, so don't, jump up and get your, because I seen some stuff on the news that might make your ears crumble with a few companies, right? But anyway, okay, so I always buy the newest phone or the iPad or whatever when I was working, up to date, watches, whatever. So I stopped doing that. So now I'm down to paying all that stuff, because that's how they get you, right? You buy this stuff with them, you pay on it monthly. Now, your bill, and you got all these different plans and everything. I have not, since I was on radio, because on radio I used to have where if somebody came in and they didn't have the internet, that I could turn my phone on and I could make them have the internet, right? That was when I was on the radio. If they came to my show, we were streaming. So I haven't been on radio for a minute. But anyway, all that stuff is getting ready to get paid off. And I only have one more bill. And the only thing I would have is just the plans that I had with them to pay. So they sent me this nice little text message that said, we have not asked to increase for any of our customers for 5 years. And so we just want you to know that for each, not just for me, I'm quite sure if you got T-Mobile, you got the same little thing I got. It said for each phone, there's going to be $5 per phone. It's going to increase something else, you know. By the time you finish, whatever I had just gotten wiped off, it's getting ready to become a reality again all over again. I'm just getting ready to say, right, bill gonna be lower every month, bill gonna be lower, I'm gonna be done with this. And so now they sent me a nice little note and tell me, and not just to me, I'm quite sure that they went to all the T-Mobile companies because customers because they said they have not increased their rate in 5 years, okay? But they're offering everybody all these plans. So who was paying for them for 5 years? You know, you turn in the phone, I pay off your phone. Not just them, you know, the other phone companies do the same thing. But I think that they have it's some television commercial that comes on about the telephones that I'm hearing a lot of people that are now coming off of these major plans and they're going to this other plan. And so I don't know if they're cutting into their dollar or not. So they just have to now just increase.
Well, I mean, with the cost of everything going up, people are very cost conscious. And so people are shopping around. We're talking about shopping around for insurance. People shop around for like phone services and things of that nature too. Because, you know, a lot of people, they have internet at their house and whatnot. So you can jump on the Wi-Fi at your house. You don't really necessarily have to have, you know, the mobile service at your house because you got the Wi-Fi.
Right.
So you can connect your phone to that. You know, and then
I never thought about that.
And then maybe you only need the mobile service when you're out and about. So maybe you don't need all the minutes and things of that nature that some of these plans offer. You know, because T-Mobile I think has the unlimited or something like that.
Yeah, I have unlimited.
But if you got Wi-Fi at home, then you know.
I got Wi-Fi with Verizon. You're absolutely right.
But you know, you can connect your Wi-Fi on your phone, and you can probably use like a lot of those services there. And whatnot. And
I know somebody that does that, and I never even thought about it like that.
It's really simple. You just hit a button on the phone, and every time you go home, your Wi-Fi comes up. You know, I mean, and then you know there's Wi-Fi at different other places. But you know, for me, I typically don't like to use Wi-Fi like. You know, if I go to, you know, like
do the shopping malls and stuff like that. I don't like to use them either.
But you know, a lot of younger people they use the Wi-Fi wherever they're at.
But they do.
Right.
I know some people that big people that do
everywhere they go, they just use the Wi-Fi.
Right.
Public Wi-Fi. Right.
They use public Wi-Fi.
Right.
To the point where they don't need.
You don't know who's on there.
The expensive phone services because there's very limited times when they're actually using it because they're on Wi-Fi. Because particularly in an area like the greater Washington D.C. area, I mean, most places you go to Starbucks, you go to Panera Bread, you go.
You can sit down at the table.
You know,
Wegmans,
you know, most grocery stores, a lot
we don't have stock in any of those companies, guys. Okay, go ahead.
But I'm just saying, you know, there's Wi-Fi. You got it at home. You got it. You know, you go to an office building because when people come to my office, they ask, "Do you have Wi-Fi?" You know, because that's what people are doing.
Now. See,
so they can go to a service where they may only be paying like $20 a month.
Yeah, I have Wi-Fi and I hardly ever use it. Yeah. Okay, so it's not connected, and this is what I was talking about, the personal hotspot.
Yes.
Okay, that's the one I used to use at the radio station in case people didn't have the Wi-Fi or whatever. I can connect you. Yeah. With my phone, I become your Wi-Fi, I guess. Yes. You know. Now that we think about it, I haven't used that since I came off radio, and I'm paying for that service. So that's one thing I'm gonna cut out, okay? Yeah. Because I don't need it. I use this. Right. I have unlimited minutes. You know what I mean? I don't know why that one little bug. Every time I come in here lately, that's your pet. Y'all got a little pet. Fly net that comes in here.
Well, you sweet like a flower.
Something. He goes, he sure flies past my face. Yeah, so I forgot all about that. And so now that's what I'm going to do. That's going to cut one of my bills down by taking that.
But you can use your Wi-Fi at your house. You know,
yeah, I never thought about that.
And not use your minutes. So if like you're talking to a family member or something like that, why are you going to use your minutes and things of that nature?
But see, I have unlimited service, so I don't.
I mean.
It doesn't matter, you know.
I'm going to tell you as as the father of a son
A brother.
who games, they can use up.
Oh, well, no, I don't have
They
that
can use
problem.
up those
minutes, okay.
and also use up the what is it called, like the
Wi-Fi? The Wi-Fi minutes?
well,
The
I mean,
data.
the data.
Data,
The
right.
Because they
data.
only give you so much data.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's right.
Right.
They can.
And then it
because-
slows down to a
Yeah,
different
yeah,
speed.
Yeah,
Right, yep.
yeah.
mhm.
Because I can have 5, but it's not because it's in my house. But they'll slow me down on their own because of the usage in my neighborhood. Down to a
Right.
2. It ain't got nothing to do with me, okay? Because nobody in my house is using the internet, okay? But they'll slow it down to a 2, and I look at my phone and see it, and I go back and put it at a 5, right? Because that's what I'm paying for. You know, I was T-Mobile was one of the first people that said they had 5G. Why are you going to turn me back to a 2? You
Well,
know?
I mean, you can use the Wi-Fi at your house. They may be faster than that. So.
Yeah,
Oh,
you never know.
I'm gonna try it.
Yeah.
You know, so,
Right.
yeah. So I'm just
Try
letting
it.
you know.
And
So
see if
you,
it works. If it works, it works. If it don't,
if
then
it
just
does,
go back to
then
it.
go back to what I'm doing. So I'm telling you guys, you need to look at your T-Mobile bill or look at a text because it was not personal to me, but they said that they have not increased their bills for 5 years. So that's another little tip I wanted to give you today about. You know, T-Mobile, you need to check your bill and see what it says so that if you get this increase in your, on your bill, you know why next month. Okay. Now, it was one other thing that I did want to say, and then I'm going to let you move because you had another topic that you wanted to talk about. Did you? Okay. I want to say this about this, the financial aid, right? Okay, so financial aid last year for the student aids, they had federal funding and everything. They moved you to different services if you had federal loans.
Okay.
Okay, so they just did another upgrade that they're doing with MOHELA, which is still with the student student
You
loans.
talk about the new
federals.
financial aid forms.
Yes, the financial aid, right?
Yeah, we're filling those out right now, and there's a lot of issues with it.
Yes. So you need to make sure, not only that, they have so many different programs that they have out there that you need to see whether or not you qualify for one of those programs. So far as forgiveness is concerned, because some of them, if you teach at a school in a low-income area, you can get a forgiveness plan. If you work for a nonprofit that does community work and you're not getting paid for it, you can get one of those plans that'll take it down. So if your son does community work, that'll help knock that bill down some for forgiveness on their loans. Some of them, if you've been like on a 0 payment plan, I'm not there yet, but I sure wish I was, 20 to 25 years that they will forgive your loan, you know, if you've been on a 0 payment plan. If you pay you work out a payment plan where you pay like 120, might be wrong on that 100 and whatever the other number is, 20 months that you could ask for forgiveness of part of your loan. So, but there are so many different plans that are out there. And so if you didn't get a letter last month, you're gonna get a letter this month, letting you know that they are revamping that whole structure so far as federal loans are concerned. I'm not talking about private loans, I'm talking about federal loans. And you need to look because they have a lot of forgiveness programs. They vary in how they work. So I would suggest that, this is what my sister told me, call and talk to somebody and listen. Don't volunteer information. Listen to what they ask you and answer the questions that they ask you. Because she knows I like to talk, right? So she said, don't talk, just listen, okay? And so with that, I'm suggesting that they have, if you just have Social Security, okay, and that's the only income that you have, you need to call them and ask them about that loan forgiveness program or 0 payment payment. And so for some of those 0 payment, I haven't reached it yet, 0 payment plans, if you're on Social Security, that once you reach that 20 to 25, even on a 0 payment plan, then they will forgive your loan. Because you don't want that loan that you're getting blown up on, okay? So check with financial aid, and then we got to cut. In a minute, we got a few more minutes. Do you want to say anything real quick? You got 15 seconds.
Sure. As far as the student loan repayment plans you're talking about, I believe they're called income-based repayment plans.
Some of them are, yes. All right, with that, we're going to say good night. So
Good night.